Hey guys, this is Mel. If you're listening to this, you are about to hear a super special sneak peek of our latest bonus episode, but fair warning, this is just a sneak peek. Don't hurt us. It's totally optional to subscribe, but if you're interested, you can check out our Patreon by searching Significant Lovers Patreon online. Hope you enjoy.
Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry we drifted apart? Does your memory stray?
But is there anything that you guys know about Bonnie and Clyde before?
Just that they were up to no good. I'm guessing they're murderers. Yeah.
I guess you'll just have to teach us. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I picture them like zooming around in a car and shooting the cops and on the run and stuff, but I don't really know what happened.
It's crazy that they're real people.
I know. I knew of Bonnie and Clyde, obviously, partially because in 2016 there was a TV show called Timeless. Shout out or comment or anything if you guys remember that show and watched it. I loved it. It was one of my favorite shows, and then it got canceled. But anyway, they had a whole episode about Bonnie and Clyde, and I thought that was really interesting, and it really turned me onto Bonnie and Clyde. And then I think a year or two later for school, I took a history through film class. We had to watch the 1967 Bonnie and Clyde movie with Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty, and that was also interesting. So I learned a lot about them because we also learned about the Great Depression and about Bonnie and Clyde through that class. So,
Kate, what 3 words would you use to describe this couple?
I would use passionate, fun,
Oh, cool.
and dangerous.
Oh, so maybe they didn't kill people.
Well, there is that dangerous word. To do this episode, I read a couple books. One was Go Down Together, The True Untold Story, Bonnie and Clyde by Jeff Gwynn. Bonnie and Clyde, The Making of a Legend by Karen Blumenthal. Love that book. Wholly recommend it. And Bonnie and Clyde, The Lives Behind the Legend by Paul Schneider. Yeah, but let's get into it. So, to begin, Clyde Chestnut Barrow.
Chestnut.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's his real middle name. But later in life, he kept saying that his middle name was Champion, but it was actually Chestnut.
This is our first Clyde on the podcast.
That's true. I don't think there's that many others.
I don't know
Other
any
people
other
named
famous.
Clyde?
Other famous people.
I don't know.
I don't know if I know any.
Maybe this name kind of
Killed
ruined
it?
it? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, he was born on March 24th, 1909 or 1910. No one's entirely sure. In Tellico, Texas. He was the 5th child in his family out of 7. He had 4 older siblings and 2 younger ones. He was approximately 15 years younger than his eldest sibling and 9 years older than his youngest sibling. So there's a big age gap. So he was the 5th child out of 7. So he was towards the end.
Okay.
He was like one of the baby siblings. And there's 15 years between him and his eldest sibling.
Oh, okay.
And 9 years between him and his youngest sibling.
How's that possible?
How can the parents be doing that?
Well, maybe
It must have started early.
Yeah, maybe the mom was like 19
Yeah.
or something when she started, and then
Well, our
40.
grandfather's mom had each of the kids 10 years apart, but that even seemed wild to me.
Yeah.
15 years and then, wait, what is it, 15?
15 and 9.
That's a huge difference.
I know.
Wow.
But there's 7 kids spread out throughout that time period. So, but even despite the age gap, Clyde got along really well with his siblings. He was very close to them, especially the ones obviously closest in age to him. And his nickname in his family was Bud because he was such a buddy to his siblings.
Oh.
Yeah. And his parents were named Henry and Cumie. I kept reading it and I never looked at the pronunciation.
How do you spell it?
Cumie. I think it's also Cummy. I think it might be Cummy. For real.
Okay. No wonder he turned out that way.
Yeah. When Clyde was born, they were cotton farmers.
Okay.
And according to Clyde's mother, Cummy, as a child, he was a bit mischievous, having once been caught stealing candy from a store. But overall, he was a good boy. He was considered playful and full of life.
What if it's not Cummy?
I think it is Cummy. What is the other, like, Cummy?
Cummy?
I honestly think it's Cummy.
Cummy. I think it's Cummy.
Okay, Cummy. I'll just say Cummy, even though I think it's the other one. But anyway, I mean, she comes up a lot, but I don't think I will say her name much anyway. He liked to sing and dance. He even taught himself how to play the guitar. His dream was to be in a band, and he was also recorded as being a good shot with a gun, but he was also an avid animal lover and didn't like to hunt. Clyde grew up poor in a 3-room shack alongside the rest of his family. It was a tight squeeze, and so most of the kids had to sleep on pallets on the floor.
Oh my god.
I know. And even with their own cotton farm to manage, more often than not, to make ends meet, the parents had to work as migrant workers on other people's farms. The kids did too, but most usually they earned their keep by picking cotton on their uncle's farm. So Clyde kind of grew up working as a cotton picker on various farms. However, when Clyde was about 13 in 1922, his family ditched farming altogether and moved to the nearest city, which was Dallas, Texas. For the first years, Clyde and his family lived alongside 20 other families under a bridge that ran across Trinity River, which was apparently very polluted at the time. The Barrows specifically lived under their wagon as they didn't have a tent, but eventually they scrapped enough material together to build a shack in the same area, so under the bridge.
They were really roughing it.
I know.
That's maybe one of the poorest upbringings we've ever heard about.
I think so.
Oh my gosh.
I really think it is. It was a big surprise to me because I knew of Bonnie and Clyde, but I didn't really know in depth their backgrounds.
Yeah.
I really know most after, like when they were already together. Yeah, so when Clyde was 16, he left school and began working full-time, first at a candy company and then a soap factory, a movie theater, an auto paint shop, a glass company, and on and on and on. Many odd jobs, and most of all the money he made, he gave to his parents. And when he wasn't working in his free time, Clyde learned how to play the saxophone from his brother-in-law. He also started dating a girl named Eleanor, and he even got her initials tattooed on his left forearm.
Wow.
And then later on, he got at least 3 other girls' initials tattooed on his arm also.
That's like that Norman Rockwell painting.
Yeah. It's like crossing one out and then a new name.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had plenty of tattoos, and a lot of them were initials of other girls.
Well, I feel like if you were dating someone and he already had his exes tattooed on him, you'd be like, well, is there something wrong with me? You need to get me tattooed on. And then it's like, now you have to do this every time. Yeah.
All right, I will have to stop the episode right there. Thank you so much for listening to the teaser. If you want to hear the full episode and many other bonus episodes, you can find them on Patreon. You can search Significant Lovers on the website or download the Patreon app. It works a lot like regular podcast listening apps. And we have tons of other couples on Patreon to listen to. So thank you so much for listening and supporting the show, and we'll get back together next week.